Welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas visiting with Mark Honeycutt and Nate Canbam. Mark from New Point Community Church and Nate from the Tuscarawas County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And exciting things that you two are brainstorming and putting together. Let's talk about the Night to Shine.
Gotcha. Well, we're so excited about that, Susie, and it's going to happen on February the 10th. It's a national event, and so Tim Tebow and the Tim Tebow Foundation, they just have a heart for people, and they have a heart for people with special needs. And so what they wanted to do is do a Night to Shine. It's like a prom, and they want to do that for 14 years and up for people with disabilities and special needs. And just have a night where they can shine and that they can be crowned a king and a queen, because that's the way God sees them. And it's just going to be a fun night from 6 to 9. It's going to involve food. It's going to involve dancing. It's going to have the crowning ceremony. Everybody's going to be dressed up. It's just going to be an incredible evening. And it started in 2014. It launched in last year in 2015. There were 44 host churches in 2015, and then that's 2 years ago. 2016, last year, because it is January now, there was 201 host churches, and I think that's about doubled for this year in 2017. And so it's simulcast. So Tim Tebow will speak, and he's got a message there for everyone. That's a message of hope and just a message that just encourages and reminds them how important they are to us and to God. Mm-hmm. And so it's just going to be a great night. It's going to be a great night.
I'm filled with questions.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Music. Is there going to be a DJ or recorded music
DJ.
or a band, or is the same music being simulcast to all of the church? So everybody has their own?
Everything is live except for Tim's message. Mm-hmm. And so there will be a DJ there. There will be dancing. There will be a red carpet, paparazzi,
nice
limos. We've got teams that are going to be doing hair, going to be shining the guys' shoes, tuxedos, prom dresses. I mean, it's just a really good evening.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to know, do you need prom attire? Do you need donations as far as gowns and tuxes and those kinds of things?
Nope, all that's
it's
being
all
provided.
Taken care of. Awesome.
Yeah, it sure is.
Food? Do you need help with food?
It's all been provided by local people in the local community. And
do you need volunteers in any way?
We do. You can go to newpoint.org/night to shine, and that's Newpoint P with an E on the end of the point .org/night to shine, and you can get all the information there. You can volunteer. You can also sign up to come and be a part of that. And so we want to give every single person that registers with special needs a buddy, and so that we're looking to have 500 to 600 people with special needs. So we need that many volunteers to be buddies, but we also need volunteers to be helping with the food and just a lot of other opportunities too.
So these children 14 and over, young adults, can just go. They don't need a date to the prom.
No.
Don't have to sweat that one out.
Right.
Wait by the phone like, remember all that. They just go, right? Dressed to the nines. And they're going to have a wonderful prom.
Yeah.
There'll be dancing, everybody dancing together. But you do want some buddies for each person who's going to be attending?
Yes. And
awesome.
So when you register, of course, we'll do a background check. We cover the cost of that, and then there'll be some training. And then if you come as a participant, we'll give you information about what the details are and what you need to bring and how you need to dress and all of that. What time to show up.
Okay, perfect. Give us a little bit about what the expectations are for a buddy, because I think, a lot of people would be thinking, that sounds fun. What would be their role that night?
Well, it would be that you would shadow, that you would be their friend,
Mm-hmm.
for the night, that you would help make sure they have a good time. You would know where things are, like the restrooms.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a place for parents to be able to go to do some respite time. They can also be involved in the prom itself, the Night to Shine itself. But we've got some local restaurants that are going to provide them a really incredible meal and just a time to kind of get away. And so they're going to be, to give mom and dad that peace of mind, they're just going to be a buddy that's going to be with their child or their young adult. For the entire night.
And some of us, when our kids were going to prom, we always signed up to be their chaperones.
Right.
Do you need chaperones as well?
Yes. There's if you'll go, there's multiple volunteer opportunities.
Great.
People in the parking lot, people that'll be on the red carpet, paparazzi. There's just all kinds of opportunities to be involved.
This just sounds so cool. And as you talked about the paparazzi, that means lots of photographs. Is there going to be, and maybe Nate could talk about this as well, since it is a national event, Is there a hashtag that everybody should be posting their pictures up to? Is it like hashtag Night to Shine or something like that so that ours get up there along with everyone
There
else's?
definitely is, and I'm looking for that right now, Susie.
Okay,
Hey,
that's all right.
Susie.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nate. What do you think holds people back from wanting to volunteer? I mean, what are some of the fears there that people might have?
I think sometimes people think to work or partner with somebody with disabilities that they have to have all sorts of training, be a physical therapist, occupational therapist. And what we're often looking for the individuals with whom we're privileged to partner with is just somebody who has a willing heart, somebody who has, a skill or a talent. We talk a lot about reverse integration. Somebody who's medically fragile and can't leave their home or their place of work or their day program, to bring somebody who has a hobby to come in and share that with the people we serve.
Right.
That's what we're looking for. Obviously, somebody who can pass all the necessary background checks. But, other than that, it's somebody who can share life with somebody. We found that often with the folks with whom we work, you ask, okay, what do you want to do? What are your dreams? And often we don't get much of a response because for so many years the system was structured in that here are your options A, B, and C, choose. And these are based on your deficit. But now we're trying to focus on what do you want to do? And they don't have that resource-rich background full of experiences and failed opportunities to know what it is they love and what they don't love. So opportunities like this to interact with somebody in the community or to make a buddy that would hopefully be your friend after this event even. And that opens up the community. And that's something I'm excited about.
It doesn't take long, does it? I think some people, as you were talking, might feel uncomfortable because maybe they don't know anyone with Down syndrome. It doesn't take long to make that friend. It does not take long to connect.
Not at all. And I have a quick story where something like that happened to me recently. I was at a conference in Columbus, and a young man with disabilities met me, and he asked me where my last name was from. I said, well, Serbia. And he said, Serbia, capital Belgrade. Do you like geography? Because I love geography.
Wow.
When I was a kid, I studied maps all the time. And him and I went back and forth for like 40 minutes naming obscure countries and their capitals.
Wow.
And it was the coolest moment. I mean, I was almost crying because I'm like, man, do kids think you were weird? He's like, yes. And I'm like, well, they thought I was weird.
Oh, wow.
And it was just, in that moment, you find something where you connect. And that's my dream for this county, is that people see people with disabilities not as an object of charity, but as somebody who can really change your life and change this community for the better.
And truly contribute, because look at the abilities they have. Like for him, he really knows those capitals. I have a deficit in that area. I wouldn't be able to do that.
I couldn't either.
Yeah. I can remember doing some aerobic dancing. We were doing some teaching aerobic dancing classes, and we went to some of the schools. We went to Eastgate and Southgate, and we had some kids that were learning the aerobic dancing with us. And then we put on a marathon at the Cultural Center in Canton, and everybody was doing aerobic dancing. Then we brought in the students from Eastgate and Southgate to perform. And they did amazing. I'll tell you, the hardest part was getting them to leave the stage because they loved the bow and the applause, and the applause went on and on and on. It was just absolutely a tremendous experience. Just joy overflowing in that room. It's too much fun. How long have you been involved with this prom? Is this a first go around for the two of you to be working on?
First go around for us, yes, it definitely is. And we want to make sure that it's not just an event. We want to follow through. And so we want this to kick off just a new mindset and a new philosophy and a new value for our church, is that we want to make sure to care for all of God's people. And so, Nate introduced me to some of the DD board locations and some of those workers there. They're just amazing. But I just asked, I said, if we have people at church that want to volunteer, what could they do? And it was anything from, hey, helping us plant flowers. We need maybe some, like a guitar lesson. We have some people that would love to learn to play the guitar. I don't know how you say that in the North. I'm putting a Southern spin on it.
It's got a little
guitar.
different of an accent on it, but that's okay. Guitar is fun.
Knitting. There was just all these opportunities.
Yes.
So I would say to anyone that's listening, whatever gift you have, it could probably be used to serve there and to just, come alongside these people that are serving people with special needs, and also just build friendships there. That would just be great.
And when I say least of these, I don't mean this to sound demeaning at all, but we are reminded to whatever we do to the least of these among
Right.
us, we are doing that for Jesus.
Yep.
And a knitting lesson would be awesome.
Yep,
A little
sure would.
cooking lesson would be tremendous. So what's in the future, Nate and Mark? After the prom is over, what's next?
Well, we want to try to figure out the best way to minister to the community and people that just come alongside and partner with parents. We do that with our current children and current students. We have a philosophy that says we want to partner with the family. We can't substitute for the family. That's not the way God intended it. And so we just want to make sure that we're meeting needs. I believe that's what the church is designed and built and destined to do, is not to just gather once a week and sing some cool songs and hear a message, but to really meet needs and to be the hope in that community. And so we want to follow through with that, and we just want to be light and salt in every area, but especially in this area, and to see how, just basically ask the question, how can we help? How can we come alongside?
Nate, for you, and I'll ask you this as well, Mark. For you, I know this is your job, but personally, let's talk about the personal satisfaction of what some of the cool stories and cool things you've gotten to see in this role.
Mm-hmm. Wow, there's been so many, and one story that comes to mind for me over and over again that really kind of solidified in my heart that this was the career path that I wanted to take. I was actually in Mali in North Africa, some little town out in the desert, and we were talking to this mother about her child who was disabled, and asking, what were his dreams, what did he want to do, what's his day look like. And he was about 20 years old, and she said, his whole life is within this hut. I'm scared of what the neighbors would do to him. He can't do much. He just kind of sits here and we give him food, but there's not much else he can do. And so after this meeting was over, the young man, he told me to come over, and he showed me, he had this series there were little boards, wooden boards with little wires, and it looked like little lights on them. I'm not sure how he got them, but he somehow configured these lights and put them on a battery, and this whole board lit up with all of these lights.
Oh.
And it touched me because, here, this mother and this family, and, not to fault them, but they were saying, he can't do much. He can't really do anything. And here he had concocted this amazing, science project of lights and batteries in the African bush, and it blew me away.
Yeah.
I keep that picture with me because it's just as a continual reminder of not to judge a book by its cover.
Right.
And
Incredible.
that's how it is with the folks we serve. You say, well, they don't want to get married, or they don't want to have their own house, or this or that. And no, you got to take the time to know them.
Yeah.
And in our case, that county board build service plans that are based on what they are, because we know these people. Mm-hmm. We have a relationship with them, not a check, box, this, a formula. But thinking creatively through community partnerships, just like we're seeing with New Point. Hoping to see more of that happen.
Yeah. Mark, how about you? What does this mean to you personally to be able to begin to reach to this segment of our population and our community?
Susie, I'm going to stand before God one day and be judged for being a leader. I'm the campus pastor at New Point, Dover. There's a lot of things we could be doing. I mean, a lot. I get suggestions all the time. I get ideas all the time. But I honestly believe that when I stand before God and we do anything to minister to a person with special needs, that it makes God smile. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of other things makes God smile, but I'm positive that ministering to this population is just joys the heart of God. Mm-hmm. And so that's my desire. That's what I want to do. And so I want to just bring some clarity to that.
Night to Shine coming up again February 10th. Go to New Point's website, newpoint.org/Night to Shine. Perfect.
And the hashtag, you asked about the hashtag,
yes.
It's hashtag Night to Shine.
There we go.
So,
Would have been my guess,
right,
but
gotcha,
didn't want to assume.
Right.
Hashtag Night to Shine. It's going to be awesome. And Mark Honeycutt and Nate, thank you so much. Nate Canbam, thank you so much for all you do in
Thanks,
our community.
Nate. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.